Hello everybody, ProtoFoxy here, coming back at you with another video. Getting back on my regular content game here. Been a little while. I saw a bunch of toy reviews. They've been getting spotty, but life comes at you fast, and if you don't buckle up, it's going to take you for a ride. As you can see, we're on a playmat. As you can see, we've got cards in front of us. Is ProtoFoxy back on his MTG deck tech kick? Yes, I am, and we see a big, beefy alien right on the top. First off, I want to talk about this playmat real quick. As you can see, it says Card Pop on it. That is the new local shop out here in Joliet, Illinois. I will pop a link down in the description below for y'all to check it out. If you're in the Joliet, Illinois area, it's off of Jefferson Street over here, and it is a nice little shop. The owner is a great guy and takes care of me, takes care of everybody who comes into the shop. It's a nice, chill place. You get your cards, you get some collectibles, you get some international Japanese style snacks and stuff like that. The first time I was ever exposed to ramen was at Card Pop. Great place, supporting the shop, supporting the LGS, good times. But anyway, what do we got here? We see on the top of this deck and Emrakul the Aeon's Torn. ProtoFoxy, is this a modern deck? No! ProtoFoxy is playing Legacy. Yes, he is dipping his toes into the Legacy format. Well, I have before and then jumped out to play Pauper and Modern and stuff like that. But today, we are going to look at my first Legacy deck tech here. Hopefully you enjoy it. This is Legacy Show and Tell. I'm going to go over creatures first. Sorry for the glare. 1, 2, 3. We've got 3 Emrakul the Aeon's Torn. That is 15 generic mana for a 15/15 legendary Eldrazi. It can't be countered. When you cast it, you take an extra turn. Flying, protection from colored spells, Annihilator 6. For those of you who do not understand the Annihilator mechanic, when this creature attacks, your opponent right out the gate has to sacrifice 6 permanents. So yeah, it's pretty brutal. And then when it's put into the graveyard from anywhere, its owner shuffles it anywhere. Its owner shuffles his or her graveyard. I can read, doing this one after work, blah, 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 into his or her library. We got 3 of these big beefy boys here, and this is a brutal, brutal game-ending beater. Bam! And then we've got next 1, 2, 3, 4 Grizzlebrands. It is a 4 generic, 4 black mana, legendary demon. It's a 7/7. It's got flying. It's got lifelink. You pay 7 life. You draw 7 cards for these guys. You know, pretty brutal stuff here. Another Legacy All-Star. Bam! In, Reanimator style decks. We've got a single Simian Spirit Guide, 2 generic and a red for a 2/2 Ape Spirit. You're never going to put this on the battlefield. You're going to exile it, and then you add a red mana to your mana pool. Bam! That is the creature package of the deck. We are now going into the spell package here. And first off, we will go ahead and start with the deck's namesake. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 Show and Tells, 2 generic and a blue for a sorcery. Each player may choose an artifact, creature, enchantment, or land in his or her hand and put that permanent into play. You're using this card to cheat everything you can out of your hand and onto the battlefield. And it is symmetrical, so your opponent will be able to do the same, but obviously you are supposed to benefit more than your opponent. Bam. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 Brainstorms. Single blue for an instant, draw 3 cards. Then put 2 cards from your hand on top of your library in any order. Great card draw, great card selection, setting up your hand. Bam, we got all that. 1, 2, 3, 4 Ponder. Another all-star cantrip card. Single blue for a sorcery. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put them back in any order. You may shuffle, then draw a card. Boom. We've got Preordain. We've got 3 of these guys. Look at that. Bam. Single blue for a sorcery. Scry 2, then draw a card. Bam. So here's where your combo setup is coming into play. This is a combo deck, folks. If you did not know, hopefully you do. You may know of the deck, you may not, but I'm showing it off to you all in grand fashion. Next up, we've got 2 Omniscience. That is a massive casting cost, and that is 10 mana, ain't it? We've got 7 generic and 3 blue for an enchantment. You may cast spells from your hand without paying their mana cost. One way of cheating out your big beefy boys. Bam! We've got then 4 Force of Wills. It is a 3 generic, 2 blue for an instant, but you're never paying that hard cost. Well, maybe you are. Maybe you are. That might happen. But the way this plays out is you may pay 1 life, remove a blue card from your hand, exile a blue card from your hand instead of paying its casting cost. All that blah, blah, blah effects that redirect damage cannot counter this loss of life. We all know that. Counter target spell. One of the best counter spells in the game. It is a free counter spell, and it is a hard counter. This card says nope. Bam. We've got then 4 Days. Single generic and a blue. You may return an island to your hand. You may return an island you control to its owner's hand. So if you happen to control an opponent's island, you can do that too. Instead of paying Days' mana cost, counter target spell unless its controller pays 1. Another very good say no spell, and in Legacy, that paying 1 is actually pretty significant, because a lot of times you're paying a lot, or you're doing a lot of things with very little mana and you can't pay it. Bam. Now, the other part of the combo here is Sneak Attack. 3 generic and a red for an enchantment. You pay 1 red. Choose a creature card from your hand. Put that creature into play. It has haste. The old wording here is it is unaffected by summoning sickness. At the end of your turn, sacrifice it. So again, part of the combo. You show and tell this out. You show and tell Omniscience, and you can play it for free or whatever. And then you pay your red. You got a big hasty boy that wins you the game. Bam. That is the spell package. But then we also have here, before we hit the mana base, we've got 4 artifacts. Lotus Petal, 0. For an artifact, you sack it, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool, play this as a mana source, We get that. We got 4 of these guys. All-star in any format it's played in. Great little mana rock. Bam. That is the other spell package of the deck. We are getting all these cards back together, picking up the deck, picking up the cards so we can go over the mana base. And that's going to be the fun part, because the mana base in Legacy is one of the most expensive parts in the deck. But, yeah, so here we go. Mana base time. We've got 4 Scalding Tarns. We know what that does. It's fetch land. Bam. 4 of those guys. We've got 3 Misty Rainforests. Another fetch. Bam. We know what that does. City of Traders. We got 2 of these guys. If you play a land, sacrifice City of Traders, tap it, add 2 colorless to your mana pool. Bam, this is a great mana accelerant there. And then we've got 1, 2, 3 Ancient Tombs. Tap it to add 2 colorless to your mana pool. It does 2 damage to you. More mana acceleration. Bam. We've got, look at that, OG Duels, 3 Volcanic Islands. We know what they do. It's Legacy. Bam. And we got a single mountain. Nice Theros full art mountain. Real nice and shiny. I believe that's foil. Is that foil? I'm looking off camera. No, this one is not foil. But the 3 islands are, bam, mana base of show and tell in Legacy. As we gather the cards up here, I will give you my final thoughts. The reason why I had to put this deck together, because I was thinking about getting a couple of Legacy decks together, and I wanted to put this one together. The other deck tech I will be showing you will actually be a deck that I had together before, but now this is a newer, updated version of it. But this one here, I actually drafted a Power Cube, and this was the archetype I drafted, which was show and tell, or sneak and show, whatever. And it was just ridiculously fun. I think I didn't end up doing really well in the draft. I think I busted even, but the games I won were complete blowouts. And I'm like, oh, I wonder if there is an actual Legacy deck for it. And lo and behold, there was. And I wanted to build it because I figured it would just be ridiculous. But there it is. Legacy is expensive, so do what you can if this is something that interests you to get the cards over time. If you cannot, everybody gets it, understand. Legacy is an expensive format, but it is also a very fun format. But if it is cost prohibitive to you, there are many other formats out there for you to play and enjoy. I just happened to come across the cards when they became available decently. Went ahead and put the deck together and decided, hey, Proto's going to play some Legacy along with Pauper and Modern and Pioneer and all the other favorite formats that he likes to play. Actually, just one other, and that would be Commander. And even then, Commander right now is hit or miss because MTG community, I suppose. But I'm trying to bring positivity to you all and show you decks that might interest you and you would have a good time. All that being said, I am going to leave you all with this. First off, again, Card Pop, Joliet, Illinois. Check it out if you're in town off of Jefferson Street. I'll put a link in the description down below. And I will say this. Be kind to yourself and your fellow human beings because life is too short. So play on and see you in the next video as you hear a dog barking.